There we go. I got my screen flipped around. The reason I'm holding the phone is honestly because I had life happen and I really didn't want to cancel this on you guys because there was so excitement. I think I had 11 people register, and then you guys are the ones that showed up for this first one, and there will be moments for Q&A at the end, but I already gave you a small Q&A, and those of you that took advantage of it, congratulations, because that's where we're starting, okay? And I wanted to start with your Q&As, with kind of giving you a roadmap of where we're going to go. And those of you that are actively participating, actively filling out what you need to fill in, what I ask you to fill out, you are going to get more benefit from this workshop these next 30 days than anybody else is. If you're passively being part of this, like, I'll just kind of listen in and see if it's something for me. Well, here's the thing. You can make it something for you by how active you're participating in the process. And so you're going to get this replay. I'm going to send this replay to you in an email. It's going to go up on YouTube for other people to see it. But those of you that are actively signed up, that have me pulled out of your junk folder, that have me pulled out of promotions folder, you are going to automatically get more out of this than anybody else. And so this is for you if you're choosing for it to be for you. And that's amazing. So those of you that have shown up today, at the end, we're going to do a Q&A that isn't going to be in the video, and you are going to get some personalized answers because you showed up. So thank you for that, guys. Whoop, whoop. We're raising hands and things like that. Okay, so my arm is going to get tired holding this out this far. And so I'm going to dance with this process of like flipping it around and trying to like allow the camera to come back closer to me. So first of all, I want to show you some of the things that we're going to cover throughout these next 30 days. And I can't cover it all within the time span of one video. And so throughout this month, in the next 4 weeks, when we meet together for an hour and 15 minutes, I have designed this process for you to get answers to these questions. And these are the most common answers that I got. Now, let me back up a little bit. So when I started this, I didn't have any plans for the summer, and life happens, you know, and we suddenly got this opportunity to come to a family reunion down in Texas. And I was like, well, I kind of already have a plan. I have to reschedule some things. I have to move patients around, all this stuff. But you know what? I'm really wanting to go and to experience this. And so I didn't want to cancel. But I also am here at this family vacation. I don't have my setup in the barn, y'all know. I don't have my microphone. So I don't want the camera to be too far away from me in this process so y'all can't hear me, especially in the recording. You know how that is. So I have to modify a little bit today. And I'm also in a bedroom with everything downstairs happening, people getting ready. We're about to go on the lake. You can maybe see my sunburn a little bit. On my shoulders, maybe a little red. Oh, they're kind of healed. But I don't have all my stuff, but I'm still starting. And I'm starting messy. And as we start these next 30 days, it's going to feel messy. Like maybe you're joining in the second week because it was just like, I forgot, I missed the email, I was scared. It was one of those days where it's just like, I don't want to do anything. I signed up for this, but it can't really make that much difference because nothing else has worked in the past. And to challenge you on that, which I plan to do a lot, and I'm going off the beaten path because you've probably been struggling with this problem for a while now. And from some of the answers, it's weight. And some of the answers, it's mindset. And some of the answers, it's fear. And so the challenge for you, maybe you're joining on the second week, is even if you're joining on the second week and it's messy, you've got to start. You've got to start somewhere. And maybe you've started and a lot of things haven't worked. And guess what? I can say this with such peace in my heart, is that I started somewhere and I failed a lot. And the thing is, it's not about successes, honestly. It's how many times can you fail and get back up onto and start back on the process? Because I'll let you know, like, I had to do a very strict diet in the past. I had to do a diet where I could not eat very much. And I failed at that a lot. I'll let you know. And I used to not be able to eat food. And I would get sick. And so I have forms of where it was hard for me to restrict my diet. It was hard for me to control what food I put into my mouth. And through this process, these next 30 days, I'm going to be pulling on how I healed my relationship with food. And it might not look exactly like yours, but the struggles are the same. You're struggling because you can't stop putting food into your mouth. And I struggled putting any food into my mouth because I thought it was all poison. And it's still the same, it's still the same uncomfortable feeling, like I have to put this into my mouth, or I have to not put this into my mouth. And so it's in the dance of it, you think that they're different, but they're not. And so as we go down this rabbit hole, and as we start to talk about this, and as we start to dive into this, I want you to recognize that you're going to fail a lot. And I don't know if anybody's told you that you will fail. You will fail over and over and over and over and over again. And it's the beauty of the process. But I'm going to be working with you in unique ways to help you through those failures. Okay? So I'm going to show you this really quick. And I'm dancing with the instability of not being in my place. So I'm going to flip this camera right here like this and show you like this. Okay. So I did bring my board. Shout out to that. And so I don't know how much I'm going to be drawing today because of the fact that I don't have my setup right, but I do not ever think that is a problem. So I've got this showing up and I split it up to struggles and goals because you guys are coming here with some pain points that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm failing all the time. I can't tell you how many times I saw failing in there. And that is huge. And we are going to be covering that so much throughout these next 30 days, sticking with it, right? That still has a lot to do with failing. Emotional crutch, like people use food as an emotional crutch. Okay. I've been there, done that. Not motivated to do it. And there's people that might be watching the replay. Maybe you were not even motivated to come to this. Like I signed up for it, but I'm not motivated to go. And that's fine. I totally get that. A lot of you, like I was prepared for how many signups we had and for maybe a 30% show rate. Shout out to you guys that showed up. And I'm not going to do the math right now, but I do believe that it's more than 30% show rate. So if we statistically look at it, I expected a lot of y'all to not show up. And so here's the thing. When we're looking at not motivated, it's such a big deal. And I hopefully throughout this process, I can flip this word motivated for you because motivation takes a lot of energy. And you're like, I don't even have the energy to do this. I don't even have the energy within my mind to be able to show up for maybe 10, 20 minutes for myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't have the energy available for that. And we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about what is stealing your energy. Okay. Goals. So seeing food different, which that's the whole purpose of these next 30 days is seeing food differently. It's healing your relationship with food. And I I'm still on this ongoing process. I'm still doing it. There's still like a little voice in my head that's like, "Ooh, you're eating bread, like normal bread, not even gluten-free bread or organic bread." There's still that voice that plays in my head, but I've become more aware that that voice is there. And so I'm able to see food, and I'll tell you how I started to do that. And some of you are coming to me with, and you're joining this these next 30 days with severe food allergies and not able to eat anything, right? And I've been there. And some of you are seeing food as like, I don't even recognize when I ate the whole bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I feel like crap afterwards. So that's a big thing that we're going to be talking about, all of this. But see, it's 4 points and 4 points. And I'm so excited to be jumping in this process with you, because these are all things that I don't want you to look at it in a conventional way, because I went down the conventional route, and we're going to use some conventional methods, but you've probably already heard of them and you're like, I don't know why I can't stick with it. Again, going back to that not motivated thing. This mindless snacking. Like, why am I mindlessly snacking? Like, how can I stop when it's a mindless thing that's happening? Right? How can I actively be aware that I'm mindlessly doing something? Right? And we're all there. Like, we all go on autopilot. But how much of your life is on autopilot? So decrease mindless snacking. Okay? And then the mindset from poison to fuel. This was a big one for me, as I spoke about earlier, but we can look at this, the mindset from emotional crutch to fuel. The mindset of fattening to fuel. The mindset of, you can insert your words here. Your mindset with food is so important. And that's why you're like, I'm not motivated. I'm emotional. I'm failing. Do you hear how those words are? All of these words are impacting your hormones, and those hormones are impacting how you eat your food. And we are going to be diving into just these different thought processes of like mindless snacking. Well, that releases a certain hormone. And through this process, we are going to talk about the physiology so that you know what's going on in your body. And then I'm going to give you practical steps to be able to move through that. Okay. This first week is very much so like just making you aware of, all right, this is where I'm at. And so many of us, let's see if I can flip this camera. I don't know if I can. It might just be my arm gets exhausted, y'all. So, but through this, let me see where my head was going. I don't remember. I lost it. But I want to show you and give you practical ways, because right now it's like, I want to change, but I don't have time to change. I want to choose differently, but I don't have energy to choose differently. I want to have a different life, but I don't know how, and I don't know how to stick with it, and I don't know where to start. And for me, like, some people are big picture down, and some people are little small pictures up. And I hope that through this next month, these next 30 days, that you get the answers. Okay, so that thought came back up. So today is going to be setting the stage for the things that we're going to be doing this month. So the first thing to set the stage is pull me out of your spam, because you have a choice here. You can choose to let this opportunity, because I guarantee if you do it right, these next 30 days will change your life. So to do it right, you have to be actively involved in this process. And if I'm going to promotions, it's out of sight, out of mind. Okay. And right now, what's in your sight is all of your patterns. That's great, but it also makes it really hard for you to pull yourself out of it. I'm going to be talking a lot about different ways that I've learned, different quotes of things, but when you're alone, that's when you're the most tempted. And a lot of you probably feel very alone right now. It's like, I'm ashamed of this, so I'm not pulling people into this. And I'm not actively doing this and asking for help because I've been let down so many times. And all the things that I've tried, they never really worked. Been there with you. I feel it. And so the biggest thing through the next 30 days is get me out of your spam, because I am going to be accountability. Every single day, I'm going to be sending you in not even content in the email, simply the what is the word? The subject line. That's all the accountability. You don't even have to open the email if you don't want to. It's going to be in the subject line so that it's quick, simple, and to the point. This process doesn't need to be hard because you don't have the energy for it to be hard. And right now there's so much clickbait. Do this, do that. This is nothing like that. I have overcome an experience and I want to share it. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for you because I've been in your shoes and I get these insights of like, share this. And I'm like, where do I share this? This calling was put on my heart. Where do I share this? How do I share this? I don't even want to charge for this because I'm a chiropractor. I'm seeing people's spines, but this is a process that people need. And the ripple effects of this process are going to expand past just your relationship with food. And I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole with that, but it will expand past your relationship with food. Okay? So, setting the stage, setting the foundation for where this is going to go. You can watch some of my faith and physiology videos, and that will give you a jump start, but you don't have to do it. I am going to be covering a lot of that information again, but there is a really good one that I just put up. It's not aesthetically pleasing, but guess what? I'm starting on this process messy. And I hope that with my messy and me showing you that I'm showing up and it's messy and the audio's not going to be perfect and the visual might not be perfect, but I'm starting and the content is going to be phenomenal. I know that within my heart. Like, I know that this will be breathed through something that's much higher than me. And so as you're actively participating, you've pulled me out of your spam. If you're actively answering the questions that I send you through the Google Forms, I'm not doing it so that I can spam you. I don't even have the energy to send you constant emails. Like, the fact that I'm going to be sending you one every day with a little tidbit of information to keep you accountable is like, that's a big commitment for me. But I'm going to try to do it. And guess what? I'm probably going to fail because, to be honest with you, I intended on sending you an email on the 1st. But guess what? This trip came out of nowhere. I didn't bring my computer. I didn't have all my login information for my email thing. So I've already failed in my head. But I was like, nope, you know what? I'm going to keep going. For the next 30 days, I'm going to send you an email every single day. I got to get you out. I have to get myself out of your junk because this will impact your life. And I know it will. I know it will impact your life. So setting the stage, get me out of your junk. Actively participate, answer the questions, because as you can see, those of you that answered this question, you probably see yourself in these struggles and these goals because you answered the questions, and not all of these relate to you. And so those people that answered these questions, this is what we're covering because they showed up for themselves. And you might be on here right now and you're like, oh yes, she's going to answer that question. And so I'm going to give you hope, setting that foundation. I'm giving you hope that this is going to be different than what you've experienced in the past because I'm asking you to choose differently. And if you do choose differently, I can guarantee, and I'm saying that and I'm pausing, I can guarantee, let that set in there. I'm guaranteeing something. I'm making a guarantee for you at no cost to you. The only cost is to show up for yourself. And you've probably already been struggling with that. And so that's the biggest hump that I actually have to get you over is, can you actually show up for yourself? Can you show up for this process? Can you show up for a different life? Because that's why you haven't changed yet, is because you're not choosing to consistently show up for yourself. And then on the other hand, there's some of you that are like, I'm consistently showing up for myself. I'm consistently choosing something different. I'm trying so much. And I'm so happy that you keep trying. And let me give you a little bit more information on how to actually start to make some changes in your life. And these changes will happen instantly. But first, you have to choose to show up for yourself, because again, you've been trying and trying and trying, and so you think this is the same. And one of the things that I've learned is that you will make a choice. I will make a choice to consistently show up for something. And in that process, the one thing that I stick with, the one thing that keeps me showing up is learn one thing. Some of y'all got kids. Learn one thing to help you show up more for them. Some of y'all got family that you got to show up for. Learn one thing through this process, and I guarantee that this process that I'm about to take you through the next 30 days is going to answer some of your biggest questions. It's going to answer some of the biggest questions. I will even, after this video, when we have our Q&As, there's going to be an option in a Dropbox, in a little form with more questions for you to answer. Take advantage of that. Maybe you don't have these questions answered because you didn't fill out the first one. I'm going to drop hammers on you. I'm going to hit you with 2x4s. But here's the thing is that those 2x4s will change your direction. And I know that sometimes you need grace, and sometimes you need to be smacked upside the head. And those are both necessary. Ephesians, there's a time and place for everything under the sun. I'm going to use both. I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings in a loving way. Okay. I feel like the stage is set. The stage is set. Do you know what to do? Because I feel like I repeated it over and over and over again. Get me out of your Dropbox, or get me out of your junk box. Answer the questions when I send them to you, and show up. And all of that takes right now in this moment, I want you to make the choice. Am I going to show up for the next 30 days? Am I going to give myself the grace that when I don't read the email, when I don't read the subject line, am I going to give myself the grace to be like, oh yeah, okay, I can go back. I can still watch it again. I can still take that chance on myself. I can still make it to the next video series, the next one. Okay? I can still show up. But you have to make that choice right now. Let me tell you, if you're not going to make that choice, I want to confidently say, go unsubscribe. Go unsubscribe from this, because that will show me like, hey, this isn't a good fit for so-and-so. Okay. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a story for this choosing to delete everything. So in December, I think it was, I did a resentment rewire. So dealing with your anger, how that impacts your body. And day one, I had like 15 people show up for it. I was so pumped. It was on my Facebook. I had a group. It was very active. I was so excited. People were messaging me, asking me questions. And then all of a sudden, my Facebook got hacked. It got deleted. It got destroyed. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, God, why? That's over half of my life, like 15 years of my life. Friends, family, clients. My Facebook was hot, I thought. So it got deleted, and I was like, okay, God, help me right now because it feels like the barrier that you've set up for me is too strong. And I got the message, be still. Just be still. I had already taken all social media off my phone because it's too big of a distraction for me. I'm too easily influenced. I'll say that. I'm too easily influenced. I can fall into that trap of you should be doing more. Like I thought I designed my nope, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because that's a big rabbit hole. But I lost it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a new one and I'm going to try to finish out this resentment rewire 3-day thing that I did. And I got it and the momentum was gone. I was like, man, it sucked, honestly. It hurt. It physically hurt. And so I had that new Facebook. I didn't really do anything with it, but I saw people were like re-adding me, and it was like people that wanted to follow me, like actively followed me, actively asked me questions. And I was like, man, well, long story short, about 2 weeks ago, I think, I got my old Facebook back. Like they had told me I will never get it back. It's deleted. It's gone. They sent me all of my pictures, everything. And it was like, oh man, I just got my Facebook back, all those leads and everything. And then I got in there and I felt it. I was like, oh my, I feel how much I'm worried about those people that are like, oh my God, she posts too much. And I was like, ugh, I feel like the buildup. I was like, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel authentic to post. And then I got back on the new one and I was like, this is fresh. These are people who want the information that I have. These are people who want what I have to offer. And so I said, I'll never use this Facebook page for my deep thoughts, for my information, for all that I have to offer. And it was the best feeling. I was like, I'm not like, rejection is protection. All of those people. And so if you're here today and you saw this and you signed up for this, you're one of those people that there's a little voice that's like, she has some information to give me. And so right now, if you don't believe that voice, if you don't believe that you're going to show up for yourself, if you don't believe that I have anything to offer, then I ask you to unsubscribe to me. Because here's the thing that does. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. What it does is it opens up the space for me to have more energy for those that need and want what I have to offer. And so all of those emails that you have that you don't ever read, just unsubscribe from them. Like those small business owners, just unsubscribe from them if you're never going to buy anything, right? So that deep rabbit hole of like, if you're not going to show up for yourself, unsubscribe from this. Okay. So let me see here. Let me see where I'm at on time, okay? I'm going to flip. You're going to see the room that I'm staying in. Okay, cool. So we're at 30 minutes. So there's 2 definitions that I want you to know before I get off of this. And then you can meditate on them throughout the week, because next week we will have another call. You will have another opportunity to ask me questions, and I'm going to ask you more questions. And throughout the week, I'm going to send you information from this. Okay? So 2 words that go hand in hand. And so many people don't know this. So let me take off that hat and put on my physiology teacher hat. Okay? So 2 words that we really need to understand in a different light is metabolism. So with food, that's a big thing. Everybody's like, I'll tell you this, because I've grown up with this being spat. And I'm saying spat because people use this word like with envy, with greed. You have a fast metabolism. That's why you're skinny. And I'm like, huh. And so being skinny for me was actually a weak point. I was ashamed of being skinny because people would say, you have a fast metabolism. Okay. I'm over that now. But what you have to understand is the word metabolism, because you might have shame around it, like my metabolism just doesn't work. Yes, it does. I promise you, your metabolism works or you would be dead. And the other word is homeostasis. So two big physiology words that are like, she's using big words on me, but I've kind of heard them. Metabolism specifically, but homeostasis, maybe not. Homeostasis is the balance. It's your system trying to maintain a semblance of balance from all of the information that's coming from the external world. Okay, so metabolism is all of the chemical processes that are happening within your body to maintain life. I'm going to pause there. And I just want you to sit there and see all the chemical processes that maintain life. The big point, the reason that I'm pausing is because these processes are to maintain life. Okay? So the reason I wanted to start with this word, metabolism, is because my fast metabolism, my metabolism maintains life for me. Your metabolism maintains life for you. And so to think that my metabolism isn't working or my metabolism is working too well, no. I want to start with the change of mindset around the word metabolism, because it is always, 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 always working to maintain life. You would be dead if your metabolism was not working. Here's the thing. You blame your metabolism for a lot of the things that you're experiencing. If it's weight gain, if it's the mindless snacking, if it's can't gain weight, because there are people on here with you that can't gain weight, okay? And that's a hard, I've been there. I've been made fun of for being too skinny, and maybe you've been made fun of for being too big. Okay, let me feel the direction, because that's a big thing. Let me feel how I looked at that and how that impacted me. So thinking I'm somebody who does care what people think. Like, I am not somebody that's like, stop caring what people think. Look, here's the thing. I've tried to stop caring what people think. And it's really hard. And if you're saying, I don't care what people think, oftentimes you really care what people think. And so you're saying, you're getting this outside in thinking. And you're not appreciating the life that you already have. And that's a small thing, seemingly. But the fact that we have these processes set up to maintain life. Throughout these next 30 days with me, you're going to hear me talk about God. You're going to hear me talk about universal intelligence. You're going to hear me talk about that weaver that somehow the spider, when it's born, it knows how to make a web, or the baby knows how to suckle, or even in the birthing process, there's reflexes put into place to help that process happen. The trees, they know when the light starts to change. They know when to lose their leaves. And I'm going to be talking about that intelligence. And I'm going to be teaching you more about that intelligence, especially when it comes to your metabolism, your digestion, your gut, your choices. I cannot speak about this without talking about that intelligence. In chiropractic school, we learned, and it's just throughout, it runs in my veins, okay? To say The power that made the body heals the body. I can speak to this over and over and over again. I myself, going from 7 years of insane chronic pain to one blind spot being removed, and all of that pain was gone after seeing experts and experts and experts. I have seen people get off ADHD and anxiety medications, not even changing their diet, not changing a whole lot other than how their neurology works. But I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. But working with that power within the body, that's all I'm doing. And so I cannot move forward and I cannot help you without that power that made the body. And so there's a weaver that works in you, and your metabolism is constantly bouncing back and forth between this breaking down and building up. Those are chemical processes, okay, of breakdown, build up. And I don't have to draw anything here, because that is, you're breaking down things to help you with energy, or you're building up things to help you have energy. And your systems are constantly working to keep this in check and to keep this balanced. And that's another part of homeostasis. Homeostasis is working to keep your metabolism in balance. And you're like, well, if I'm gaining too much weight, is my metabolism actually in balance? Yes, for where you are at right now. And so through these exercises, through this process, I'm going to drop that bomb and you're going to be like, what? Like, for where I'm at right now, my metabolism is working right. Yes, because it's always trying to maintain life. You have to remember that. Maintain life. So your body is always trying to keep you alive. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to drop that bomb bigger. And I need you to flip the way that you're thinking about your metabolism and your body and homeostasis and your weight gain, or your not being able to gain weight, or your digestive issues, or your anxiety, or your mindless eating. Where you're at right now, your metabolism is maintaining life. And it will always do that until there's a limitation of matter, yes. But it's always trying to maintain life with what it has, with where it's at right now. So maybe you're exhausted, you're fatigued, and we need to figure out why that is. Why is your metabolism, why is your system exhausted? And that goes beyond your food, but we can start with food. We can start with this relationship to food, with food, to find out more about, why am I exhausted? Why can't I gain weight? It's a feedback mechanism, because your body is always trying to maintain life. So starting with the mindset for these next 30 days that my body is working for me, not against me, but for me, is where you have to start. My body is working for me. My body is working for me. So for the next 7 days, every time that shame hits, or every time that anxiety hits, or every time you're about to eat, because this is how I first healed my relationship with food, was my body is working for me. So every time I put food into my mouth, and I'm not kidding, this is what I did first and foremost. Yes, I tried all the diets, and I tried all the things, tried all the supplements. Let me heal my gut. Let me heal this and that. And let me not eat this, and let me not eat that. And let me eat extra of this because this is supposed to be good. I tried that. It didn't work. As a matter of fact, I got to where I ate less and less and less because I was like, I knew this is bad for me. This is good for me. I can only eat this. If I'm not eating this, then I shouldn't eat it all. What chaos. I can tell you that for sure. So let me tell you what I did. Every time I woke up in the morning, I said, my body is working for life. My body is working for me. Write that down. I want you to first write those two statements down. My body is working for life. My body is working for me. What that does is it flips your mindset of, okay, if my body is working for me, then honestly, what is it trying to protect me from? And we're not going to go down that super, super big rabbit hole. What's it trying to protect me from? What's it trying to tell me? Those are all things. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. That's going to be for the next 30 days. So hopefully you show up for that stuff. But my body is always working for me. My body is always working for life. Write those two statements down. And to be honest with you, none of this that I'm talking about was planned except metabolism and homeostasis and your struggles and your goals. Everything that I'm going to be talking about in the next 3, maybe 4, because I might do an extra one. In the next 3 lives like this, these are all really live. So your active participation, that's what determines where these go. So you want help? You've got a doctor right here who's healed and who's helped guide people through healing a lot of really weird stuff. Like a lot of really weird stuff, like heart medications. People got to get off of them. And I'm not the one taking them off, but I'm recognizing, hey, you're on this medication. You might need to go get it checked out because I think your heart's working again. It's your hormones aren't working. You might need to go get these retested because I think you've got some symptoms that are showing up that your body's trying to work again. Hey, I've lost this much weight. Great. Hey, I'm no longer anxious. That's fantastic. You have access to me right now. I'm not putting my hands on you, but I have all of this information to give you. You are getting access to this for free. So when you show up in the next 3 weeks, these are the things that we're going to be talking about. And they're going to be very flexible to who shows up and who participates. So like I said, in a few minutes, I'm going to be doing a Q&A with those of you that did show up. How exciting, right? And it's not going to be accessible to the rest of the world. Okay. So next week, those of you that are watching this replay, show up for yourself. Choose it right now. Okay. So the big thing you have to do for the next 7 days or the next 30 days, even better, is when you wake up in the morning, repeat it 3 times at least. My body is working for me. My body is working for life. My body is working for me. My body is working for life. And don't just say it. My body is working for me. My body is working for life. I would say this. My body is working for me. My body is working for life. And then I'll go into even more detail of what I did before I ate. So, and we're going to be talking about this even more. Why this worked. So before I ate or after I ate, especially after I ate something and then felt anxious about it, was the proteins are building, the carbs are giving me energy, and the fats are protecting me. You do not have to know the ratio of proteins, fats, and carbs in your food. Those are the macronutrients that you need to survive. Proteins, fats, carbs. You need all of them to some degree. Okay? And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of what you need specifically in your life, but I'm going to go to this place where you need to recognize that your body is smart enough to move the proteins, to move the fats, to move the carbs. And you're going to say, but what if a process isn't working correctly? No, you need to believe that your body can work correctly. So every time before I ate, I would say, the proteins are building, the carbs are giving me energy, and the fats are protecting. And afterwards, after I ate, I would say the same thing. And I would say it over and over and over again. I went from not being able to hardly eat anything to being able to have a brisket sandwich with normal bread and butter on that bread with some curly fries and onion rings last night. Oh, and I had a cheese stick. Now, I don't normally eat like that, but I'm on vacation. And I know that because my body is very smart and it's not overloaded with toxins, it's not overloaded with food or with bad stuff, I can now do that every now and then, and it's not going to hurt me. I want you to be in the place where you have that certainty of, I've been taking care, I don't have to be motivated to take care of myself, which, here we go again, not motivated. I do not have to be motivated to eat, and I hope to get you to that place. I do not have to worry about the poisons in food because I have built my body back up and I believe in it enough. And because of that belief, my body works really, really well. It removes toxins like it should. But there's a process of helping your body move through poisons, move through toxins. And we're going to talk more about that too through this process. So I think I've pretty much covered everything. You know your homework assignment. I'm going to repeat it one more time. You can write this down if you didn't before. My body is working for me. My body is working for life. Homeostasis, metabolism. Metabolism is all of the chemical processes happening within your body to maintain life. Homeostasis is working with metabolism to maintain that balance of life. And so here's your question. Are you thriving or are you surviving? Because it can be maintaining a life, but what kind of a life is it maintaining? And that's an even bigger question. And that's the deeper rabbit holes that I plan to go down with you over these next 30 days. So showing up for yourself, this first one right here, right now, is setting the stage for so much. Are you going to choose something different? Or are you going to keep choosing the same day over and over and over again? Are you going to keep choosing survival every single day? Is maintaining life, maintaining where you're at right now? Or can we change that maintaining life to, oh my gosh, I'm actually thriving? Let me tell you a secret. We can do that. It takes time, but over these next 30 days, we can shift that mindset to something different as long as you are showing up with me. Okay? So I'm going to move into the Q&A with those of you that showed up. I'm going to shut the video off and then I'm going to come back in. You guys come back in with me so that you can have your Q&A, but I got to shut this off and then we'll dive in. Okay? All right. So I will see you guys next week. Pull my emails out of your promotions, out of your spam, and it will have the next time for next week. Okay? All right. Talk to you guys soon.